ever feel like networking is just a bunch of awkward coffee chats and cold connection requests? You aren't alone. Are you ready to stop treating your network like a panic button and start making genuine connections that actually matter? Well, I'm here to help you shake off those transactional vibes, revive old relationships without feeling awkward, and discover how staying connected can make you a better leader, even when the ground feels shaky. Let's turn that cold LinkedIn list into your professional superpower. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about something that a lot of leaders can unintentionally get wrong. It's about the importance of networking. So I know what you're thinking. Networking, we do it because we have to. Sometimes it feels very transactional, and occasionally it can actually feel a little gross, like you're supposed to use people to get something you need. Well, that's not what we're talking about here today. Today we're going to talk about keeping your professional relationships alive, not because you need something from them, but because those connections are going to make you a better leader, keep you grounded, and honestly, they may be needed to help save your career. So let's get real about what's happening out there. We are seeing experienced professionals, people, I'm talking decades of experience, that are getting laid off. I just saw it happen with a huge chunk of my network last week. And it's not because they were bad at their jobs or because the companies are right sizing or restructuring or whatever company term you want to use because it makes it sound a little less brutal. But here's the thing. When these layoffs hit, a lot of people realize their networks have gone cold, especially if you have been in the same organization for a long period of time. And it's not because they did anything wrong. It's just because they were focused on their current job, their current team, their current company, that maybe it wasn't a pressing issue to talk to former colleagues over the course of their career. And now they're reaching out, and suddenly it might feel awkward, it might feel desperate, and because, again, the last time you maybe talked to them was a long time ago, and now it feels like you're reaching out to them because you need something. But here's the reality. If you're a leader right now, whether you're secure in your role or you're feeling the ground kind of not as solid beneath you as you would hope, you need to understand this. Your network is not a resource that you tap into only when you need something. It is a living thing that needs consistent attention. And notice I said consistent, not constant, consistent attention. And I want you to think about it for a second. How many people have you worked with over the years who made you better at your job? Who challenged you to think differently? Who maybe you just really enjoyed working with them? Now ask yourself, when was the last time you talked to them? If you're anything like me, there's probably a list of faces in your mind. And the answer to that last question is, I can't remember. Well, you guess what? You and I have got work to do today. And that's okay because most people let this slide. But uncertain times demand that you get really intentional about this. And there's this myth that networking is something you do maybe when you are on the job hunt. I remember early on when LinkedIn came out that people actually cautioned you and said, don't be on LinkedIn too much. They'll think you're looking for a job. Well, those days are gone. What I want you to do is dust off LinkedIn, and we are going to think about it very differently. But we're not just going to dust it off, send out a bunch of connection requests, and suddenly ask people for coffee. Because that's not real networking. That's just straight up panic. Let's call it for what it is, people. That's panic. Real networking, the kind that actually matters, happens when you don't need anything. It's checking in with a former colleague just to see how they're doing. It's maybe sharing an article with someone that you thought of because it reminded you of them. Maybe it is grabbing a coffee, but with no agenda other than just simply catching up. And here's why this matters for leaders specifically. Your network isn't just about your next job. It's actually about how it can help make you a better leader right now. Because when you stay connected with people across different companies and industries, you get the privilege of seeing a different perspective. So you get to see what other organizations are dealing with, what problems they have, and more importantly, you're getting to see how they handle them. You can learn new approaches that you can bring back to your team and your company. It helps you stay grounded in reality because let's be honest, particularly when we have been in one company for a long period of time and we're only surrounding ourselves with people inside that company, we all start to drink the Kool-Aid a little bit. And guess what? Your company's way isn't the only way. Your network is going to help keep you honest about what is normal and what's not. The other thing that having a healthy network does for you is it helps build a reputation that travels. When layoffs happen, the people who land fastest are the ones people remember. And it's not because they were better at their jobs, it was because they stayed visible and they stayed connected. Think front of mind. And look, if you're in a leadership position right now and you're thinking, I'm safe, I don't need to worry about this, think again. The people that I saw that got let go last week, they thought the same thing. No one is immune from restructuring. So the best time to strengthen your network is right now, particularly when you don't think you need it. So what does it mean? I'm talking about having this network. What does it mean to have a healthy network? Well, if you know me, you know I love to be very practical. So we're going to start with the most practical thing we can do. We're going to make a list. And I'm serious. Get some pen and paper, people. Don't just do this as a mental exercise because if you're like me, you're going to get distracted at some point because our attention spans are shot and you're going to forget. So write this down. I want you to sit down and write out the names of people you have worked with. So think former bosses, colleagues, direct reports, people from different departments, just anybody that made you think differently or that you just genuinely enjoyed working with, have respect for. Now, this doesn't need to be complicated. Aim for 10 to 20 names is a good start. And if you're like me, this is going to come pretty quickly. The next thing I want you to do is reach out with no agenda. This is the crucial component here. Don't reach out because you want something. Reach out because you genuinely are curious with how those people are doing. So, when you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to say, Kim, this is going to be awkward. I haven't talked to this person in 20 years. It can be as simple as I was thinking about that project we worked on together. I was thinking about that time we were on this team together and just wondered how you were doing. What are you up to these days? Or it could be, I saw this article and it made me think of you. How is it going over there? Keep it simple, keep it genuine. The goal isn't to impress or pitch or any of that stuff. The simple goal is reconnection. And the next thing I want you to do is to think about the consistency. Remember what I said in the beginning. You don't need to talk to everyone every month because candidly, that makes no sense. But you do want to make a habit of reaching out to a few people at least every quarter. And I recommend putting it on your calendar. So you can call it whatever you need to call it, but make it a priority. Block your time because it's this important. And I'm not talking an hour. You can just block 30 minutes once a month. Shouldn't kill you to find time to maintain this connection. The next thing I want you to think about as we're going through is how do you offer value first? So if you see a job posting that might be interesting to someone in your network, send it. If you read something that's relevant to their work, share it. If you can make an introduction that helps them, do it. Just don't think about it. Just do it. And the thing that I want to encourage you, poor LinkedIn, they're getting a lot of conversation in this episode, but I want you to go beyond that because LinkedIn does matter. It is kind of the town square, if you will, right now of professional connection. But if you can, take it a step further. So take it beyond the likes and the supports and the hearts and the icons. Actually have a real conversation. So I'm talking a phone call, a Zoom call. If you have the privilege of meeting the person, grab a coffee, but do something that's actually conversation over just the simple, like button. That is the most performative thing you can do. Actually have a conversation. And so the thing that we often miss is that your network shouldn't just be people that are at your level or above. I want you to stay connected with people that you've managed. I want you to stay connected with people that you were peers with. And because these can be your most valuable connections because they knew you before anybody had fancy titles or anybody was doing anything crazy like having a podcast. Make sure it is a diverse representation of your professional life. And if you're wondering, I was communicating with a direct report because I think she's amazing and she's about to be a first time mom. And if she's out there listening because she's on maternity leave, you know who you are. Love ya. All right. So, I want to address a slight, maybe something that'll feel uncomfortable, but I think we can't talk about networks and healthy networks without addressing this. If you are a leader right now, you might be in the position of having to let people go. Layoffs are happening en masse right now at the time of this recording. Or you maybe just survived a round of cuts while you watched your peers be let go. This is why and where keeping your network healthy becomes so important, like incredibly important, and also potentially a little complicated. So let's start with the first part. If you're laying people off, I'm going to challenge you to do the decent thing and help them land. So that means go make the introductions, write recommendations, use your network to connect them with opportunities. And the truth of it is, it may feel awkward. And it probably will feel awkward because you just had to let them go. And they probably are a little bitter, which they're justified in that feeling. But here's the truth. How you treat people on their way out says everything about who you are as a leader, and people will remember. So show up for them. Just because they're not on your team anymore doesn't mean you can't still show up for them. If you are the one who survived the layoffs, for the love of God, don't let survivor's guilt convince you that you should ghost them, because that would be awkward that you still have a job and they don't. No, check in on your people, offer to be a reference, connect them with your network. Don't let discomfort about still having that job keep you from showing up for people who don't. This is the most important part for them to not feel isolated and alone. And I'm so sorry if you were the one who got laid off and you were listening to this. Your network matters super big, even more right now. But remember, the people who will help you are the ones you have stayed connected with. So be mindful about that. And this is why I'm telling people you can't treat networking like a faucet that you turn on and off. You really have to have that constant, consistent stream going. You have to be thoughtful about this. So here's what I want you to do. Regardless of what bucket you're in, I want you to make a list of 20 people, 10 to 20 people. Ideally, it's people who matter to you professionally. I want you to pick 3 of them from the list and reach out. Just say hi. Ask how they're doing. No agenda, right? Like, even if you just got laid off, just say, hey, I have a lot of free time on my hands. I'm just connecting with people. How are you doing? Like, don't have an agenda. Then I want you to look at your calendar and I want you to block, as I said earlier, 30 minutes on the calendar and call it whatever you want. Network maintenance, connection, catch up, whatever it is. Use that time to reach out to people, have those coffee meetings, make introductions, do the follow-up you promised to do. 4th, if you know someone who's been laid off recently, reach out to them this week. Offer to help in any way you can, even if it's just listening, because that matters. I just want you to remember your network is not a backup plan. It's not a safety net that you hope you never have to use. It is truly an ecosystem that can help you be a better leader. It helps keep you connected to what's happening beyond the walls of your company. And more importantly, it reminds you that your career is bigger than any single job. Because I know when I really sit and think about it, I'm often amazed at how wild my professional network truly is and how they show up for me on a regular basis. So I'll leave you with this. In certain times, the leaders who thrive aren't the ones who have the best resumes. They are the ones who have figured out how to stay connected. They show up for people. They really build genuine relationships that last beyond any single role or single company. So that's all I really want to cover today is help you think about how you leverage the people that have been in your world and who are in your world. So let's go out. I got my list to go work on too. So don't worry about it. We're all a work in progress, y'all. And I guarantee you, just take these steps. You'll be so glad you did it. Take care, and I hope to hear from you soon. Hey, quick announcement. I'm hosting a 3-day virtual leadership summit called Navigating Uncertainty from January 25th through 27th in 2026. 21 expert speakers are going to cover strategic leadership, team building, operational excellence, and leading through change. Best part? It's completely free if you watch live. However, if you want lifetime access to the replays and extra speaker resources, grab the All Access Pass for just $97. Head to the website in the show notes and register now. Trust me, you don't want to miss this.